Welcome to the Wes Miller Show presented by the UNCG Alumni Association. It's been a good week for the Spartans in the last 4 games. They've not only won all 4, but 3 of those have been on the road. Safe to say, Furman is not an easy place to take a win. You beat a 16-game home win streak as well as getting 20 wins on the season. What did you say to the guys after that momentous win, Coach?
Well, I think that was a fun locker room. As you mentioned, it's a tough place to play. And, anybody that hadn't lost a SoCon game in 2 years in their own building, that says enough about how difficult of an environment it is. So we just talked about, how it was a team effort, how we responded to some adversity there in the second half, and it was a big win for our program. But we also talked about how, we can't celebrate. You can't celebrate in the middle of the season or as you're getting down the stretch because there's still a lot of work to do. And I think that's the mentality we've tried to have all year, that, whether you have success or failure, treat it the same way. Let's come in the next day and work on getting better.
After the game, you told the media that before the game there was a different look in the guys' eyes. What did you mean by that?
Well, I actually was referring to a timeout at the under 16-minute mark in the second half. They made a run out of the half, and you knew they would. We were up 2 at half, and they had played well down the stretch in the first half, Furman, and they made a big run at us to start the second half. And, you could kind of feel the momentum going their way, and we're down a couple possessions, and I looked in the huddle, and you could just see that our guys, they wanted that type of moment. They wanted that type of challenge. And that doesn't mean you're going to go out there and play great and win, but it means you believe that, your guys are about the right things. And so it was good to see that. I expect that from this group, but you could just tell they were excited for the opportunity to go compete.
One player that really helped in that victory, Francis Alonso, had 24 points, and in one stretch he made 4 straight three-pointers. So my question is, when he has a great night and shoots the way that Francis Alonso can, what is going on around him that's helping him get open? Well,
I think that's a great question, and I love the way you phrased it. It's not just Francis, doing it all by himself. It's everybody working together. A lot of the things that we do to get him shots involve screening action off the ball. So guys have to really do their job to set screens and do their work early to get him open. Certainly guys have to deliver the ball. And I thought everybody kind of worked together to do their job offensively to get him some really clean looks. He also utilized the shot fake really well early in the game. Everybody's goal when they play against him in our league is to run him off the three-point line. He's not a one-dimensional player. It was nice to see him kind of use his three-point shot to get other things going or get people in the air and open up better opportunities for himself. But I thought we screened better for him, and I thought, guys like Demetrius and Diante did a really nice job delivering the ball.
Coming up next, you're facing Mercer on the road, and although Mercer hasn't necessarily had a great SoCon record at 7-8, many of those games have been very close. The last time you faced them, it was a 2-point game. What are you most concerned about?
I am concerned with how good of a team they are. I think they've lost more close games than anybody in our league. They could easily be, a team that's in first, second, or third place. I think a lot of us thought going into the year that there was a really good chance they would be, and I think they very well could be. They have a good enough team, they have good enough players, and they certainly, have one of the best coaches in college basketball. You add that on top of the fact that it's about as difficult a place as there is to play that I've experienced in college basketball. It's a great arena with a great atmosphere. They get great support. We haven't had success down there in the short time they've been in our league. So it's a very difficult game for us. We're going to have to be really prepared. In a lot of ways, they outplayed us here at home. Going back and watching the film, they probably deserved to win that game. We were able to make some plays down the stretch. We were fortunate that they missed a couple free throws, and we were able to come out with a win. So it's going to be a really tough environment, and I think our guys will be ready to come in and practice this week to prepare.
So 3 games left in regular season, and then you guys are headed up to Asheville for the SoCon tournament. Have you had to intervene to get the guys to focus one day at a time, or is that something that your seniors in Diante, Baldwin, and RJ White have really taken care of from a leadership perspective?
Well, I think that's something we preach every day. The good news is I think the emphasis has not only come from the coaching staff, but it's come, as you mentioned, from our upperclassmen. And Diante, Baldwin, and RJ White have had a sense of urgency about getting better every day. Marvin Smith and Jordy Kuiper have kind of followed that lead. And then, you've seen a guy like Demetrius Troy's mentality really mature and grow over the last 2 or 3 weeks, so some of the young guys are starting to follow. So I do think that we've had that mentality for the most part over the last 2 or 3 weeks in practice, but the minute that you think you've arrived when it comes to culture, I think is the minute you take steps backwards. So we'll be right back at it today, and I do believe that Diante and RJ and Jordy and Marvin will continue to be back at it, and I think it'll kind of trickle down through the rest of the team.
Completely unbasketball related, we're celebrating President's Day. Do you have a favorite president, Coach Miller?
I was a political science major in college, so my wife always laughs that anytime we're talking about politics or anything along those lines, she thinks that I act like I'm some kind of scholar just because I got an undergraduate degree. But no, I don't have any one particular president, but I do brag that I know a lot more about our history, our nation's history, than her, and I try to school our guys on history, especially U.S. history, when I have the opportunity. So I'll be asking some questions like that today as well.
Well, Coach, that's all I have for you. Best of the luck on the road against Mercer, and then back at home against VMI, and then finally the last game in the Coliseum, ETSU.
Thanks, Meg.
Stick around to hear more from our seniors themselves after the break.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you. In Greensboro and Winston-Salem, it would be Jason Bramblett. He attracts hundreds of buyers and creates so much demand that Jason can guarantee if your home doesn't sell at a price and deadline you agree to, he will buy it. Partner with the agent I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Big flavor to your next get-together with Subway Catering, featuring good-to-go boxed meals with a side and freshly baked cookie, crowd-pleasing giant subs, and piled-high sandwich platters overflowing with flavorific choices. All made the way you say with everything you love, like jalapenos and Chipotle Southwest sauce. Subway Catering is simple and satisfying, a great value for any budget. Just call 877-360-CATER or visit Subway.com and let us take care of any occasion. Subway, cater fresh.
I came here mostly for that reason, to try to build something and make something out of a school out of Greensboro, since it's my hometown. When we came in, I set out that I wanted to leave the culture and have a family, and I built it. We built it, not just me, but the coaches and the team and the players that I have around with me. Me and RJ and Jordy and Marvin have built the culture for this team, and I feel like that when I leave, the culture won't change because it's a foundation.
Year by year, you could see like the culture evolving into something better. And I think end of last year and this year, we're starting to show people that like we are a good team.
It's a lot different. It's the locker room's different. The environment's different. The coaching style is. We used to joke a lot. My freshman year was a bunch of jokes. That culture has changed. Like when we lose here now, we're all mad. We don't want to talk to each other. We don't want to do that. I mean, we let it go eventually, but for that first hour and a half, 2 hours, we're not talking to each other. We're just angry.
This year, like we expect nothing but winning. That's what we kind of established as a culture. We go out to compete every game, every practice. So I guess we kind of just put that in our heads, like that's what we expect. We don't expect to be the underdogs with any team we play this year.
That belief started with the program's fourth postseason berth a season ago.
That was huge. It made some of the people believe, people around here believe in us or think we had an opportunity to do something great the next season. And it made us believe in ourselves even more that we actually have a chance.
That's what this group has instilled at UNCG, a program that now means the world to them.
It means everything to me. I feel like I put a lot of work into this program, on and off the court. At first, to me, it was just like a regular game. But now it's just like pride, and it's kind of cool that everyone feels that way.
It's kind of unexplainable what it means to wear it on our chest now, because we know we have a somewhat of a target in the SoCon now. People believe, and if they don't believe, they're soon to believe. It's a great feeling to know that you're close to being on top, or you're right there on top.
That duo has just one more chance to show they're on top. That first weekend in March, up in Asheville.
Together on three. 1, 2, 3, together. Go.